guys, how you doing? It is your girl Beard Grant. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. I've been wanting to make this video on this channel for a little bit. I actually was a little bit apprehensive initially doing this type of video because, as you know, putting yourself out there, going into details on what's going on with you can be very challenging. But one of the things that I am pushing myself to do is step out of my comfort zone, and the reason for this video. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing with you guys how I have, which I'm going to try to pronunciate it correctly, is seborrheic dermatitis. If you guys have been following me for the past couple of, I want to say about a year, maybe year and a half, I have been explaining to you guys how my scalp has been very itchy, how I've been dealing with my scalp has been very inflamed. I guess that would be the best way to put it. And it's been a challenge for me to find a routine for myself, dealing with it. This type of, I don't necessarily know if it's a disease or if I know it's more of an immune system situation, but I'm not sure. I'll put it here on exactly what is the specific category that it falls underneath. So what I wanted to do for this video is I wanted to basically explain, what it is, seborrheic or seborrheic, however way you want to pronunciate it, dermatitis. Basically where I'm at in my journey of dealing with it, and I want to also in this video give you guys my walkthrough of my routines, things that I'm now taking in order to deal with this inflammation and scalp situation. Now, do let you know that seborrheic dermatitis is not only can affect the scalp. If I'm not mistaken, you can have it pretty much anywhere. I'll again put right here exactly where anywhere can be, but I know for me, or I could tell you for me, is that I am dealing with it specifically on my scalp. Now, to let you guys know, I have my iPad here. So if you do see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. I wanted to make sure, when I do this video for you guys, that I am staying on track, because your girl gets to talking as well. I want to make sure that I hit all the key points for this video. So as I said, I've been dealing with seborrheic dermatitis for the past 2 years. Basically, over the course of the past 2 years, I have been dealing with flare-ups as well too, of my skin being very irritable, very itchy. Times that it has healed, which I feel like I'm in at this stage right now, kind of where it's kind of dormant, where it's there, but it's not, I guess you could say, reacting or reactive because of the things that I am doing. However, based off my research, even though that you can be doing all the right things, taking care of your scalp, and doing all the necessary steps, I have followed or gone through other videos of people who are on a routine, who were taking certain medication, creams, things like that, and they still have flare-ups. Now, flare-ups can happen at any time. I know when I was doing my research that people who suffer from stress, which is me, if you've been watching my prior videos, I talk about how, have anxiety, how I've had depression. I want to say that's about the time when it started for me, when at the height of that. But what I do know is that seborrheic dermatitis can happen due to the change of weather, as well as your immune system changes and so forth. There's been no real reason, I guess you can say, based off of my research on the Pacific. My apologies. I know I'm sniffling, guys. You know me and my runny nose. There's been no like, okay, this is the one reason why, seborrheic dermatitis happens. It could be a combination of reasons. It could just be one reason itself. So just to let you guys know that. Now, seborrheic dermatitis, to let you guys know, is that it can affect, or based off of ChatGPT, it affects 1 out of 10 adults, as well as it affects children too, where they have it, and so forth. That's the reason why, I think it's so broad, and they're saying that, due to your immune system, it could be the cause. Because I don't necessarily, it can happen. I don't necessarily see children going through stress. So this is the reason why I guess they say, it could be due to your immune system. So like I said, 1 in 10 adults suffer from seborrheic or seborrheic, however, again, where you want to pronunciate it, dermatitis. Now, basically, this is a skin condition that causes redness, flakes, itchiness, as I mentioned before. Now, basically, what seborrheic dermatitis is a fungus, okay? The fungus is called Malassezia. I'll put it right here, Malassezia. Now, this fungus is a natural fungus that's on the skin. It's not something that, okay, you I don't want to say dirty. It has something to do with that. It's naturally a fungus that's on your skin, and this fungus helps you break down oils, okay? However, what happens with seborrheic dermatitis is that this fungus, or yeast, is the next name of it being called, can overgrow. All right, which leads to the redness, flaking, itchiness, inflammation, and etc. So just let you know, I don't, I want people to know that it's not like, I take care of myself. I try my best to take care of my scalp as best as possible. I've been working on taking care of my body internally, externally, all the ways, mentally, all the ways that I could possibly take care of myself. I've been working to do that. However, sometimes you could be doing all the right things, and just because your immune system goes haywire, this can, happen, and you're dealing with this particular condition. So now, as I mentioned before earlier, what causes this to happen is due to stress, is due to, well, it's a couple of categories: stress, hormones, immune system changes, cold weather, or excess oil production. Okay, so it's like I said before, a combination of different reasons of why seborrheic dermatitis starts. I'm guessing the reason why they can't narrow down what specifically is going on with you. Now, let's talk about treatment. All right. Now, unfortunately, you cannot get rid of seborrheic dermatitis or seborrheic dermatitis. You're going to see me say it 20 different ways in this video. So just, bear with me. However, you can find ways to treat it. Okay. For me, and which you may have seen either in the beginning of this video or you see later on in this video, is that you have certain type of vitamins that you can take. So I take vitamin D. I take also a K2 vitamin that's in a black seed oil I guess, what do you call it? Just a black seed oil dropper medication that I take on a daily basis, okay? Now, vitamin D and K2 helps in reducing inflammation, which is what we want to do with dealing with seborrheic dermatitis. Now, what is most important is that you want to take something that is a antifungal, antibacterial situation, okay? There is medicated shampoos out there as well too. There's conditioners, there's creams out there. There's other vitamins out there, which I actually picked up one today, which is zinc, that helps with your immune system, which in result helps with inflammation and reducing inflammation, okay? So let's talk about the way, some of the things that I stay away from, okay? Dealing with seborrheic dermatitis. I have experienced, like I said, I'm in the kind of like slight dormant, I would not say dormant stage, but I am in a calmer stage right now, dealing with it. And I hope that it remains. I hope that when we're going into fall, winter, that I don't experience much change with my scalp. But we will deal with that when that time comes. I am not going to stress about it. I'm just going to do what I could do in the moment. Okay. So the things that I stay away from are oils for me. I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube talking about this condition. There are people who are able to use certain oils with seborrheic dermatitis. I cannot use any oils whatsoever. As soon as I put oil on my scalp, whether it's grapeseed oil, I'm drawing a blank on what olive oil, all the oils, argan oil, all that. Whatever I put on my scalp itches, okay? But as I mentioned before, it's different for everybody, okay? You may be able to use oils on your scalp, and you may not have any itching or burning or anything like that. That's great for you, but it's not the case for me. So one of the things that I have learned dealing with this type of condition is that what one may do and work for them may not necessarily work for you. Like, for instance, I watched a video and a person uses sulfur 6, I believe it's sulfur 6, sulfur, okay, treatment, dealing, that is a particular spray that deals with dandruff, that helps with dandruff and so forth. Okay, it's supposed to help with like the itching and making sure that your scalp doesn't itch. As soon as I put that spray on my hair literally started itching, like within minutes it started itching. So I cannot use the sulfur 6 spray. I just can't. So I had to, I was a little bit upset because I had to throw it out. I couldn't use it, and nobody else in my house really use it. My husband does not suffer from this condition. Also, I want to add in that it is not contagious. Just because I have it doesn't mean I transfer it over to him. It doesn't work it doesn't work that way. So do let you know that if you do have the condition, you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I'm going to get a family member sick, friend sick, partner sick, or anything like that. It's not transferable. All right. So, as I said, once I put any type of oil on my hair, I start to itch. It becomes very irritable for me. Also, what I try to not do, which I am not perfect in this way. Okay. Sorry for the hand movement. I don't know. I just move my hands a lot. Maybe I should just go like this and put it underneath my tablet. Now, one of the next things I try not to do is touch my hair. Okay, I try not to touch my scalp. I try. I am not perfect at this, especially if I'm going through an itching spell or my hair I haven't washed my hair, for a while, which we're going to get into the wash day in a minute. But when I do touch my scalp, it causes my scalp to itch more. So I try to stop from doing that. Okay. Now let's talk about wash day. All right. We're going to talk about wash day. I'm going to talk about some of the products that I do use and so forth. I'll give a list to you guys now because I know I took a little bit of video of the products so that you guys can see it. So as I mentioned before we get into wash day, I take black seed oil, which has D3 and K2 in it, which helps with inflammation. I now use a probiotic soap that helps with inflammation that I got off of Amazon, which is highly recommended for people who have seborrheic dermatitis. Also, I use Shea Moisture shampoo and conditioner. I believe it's a tea tree conditioner. It's the purple bottle, I think with letter green around it. I know it's purple and white. I think green is in it as well too. I know that Shea Moisture did change their label as well. But I believe it's the tea tree oil, the tea tree one that I use, but a picture will be here so that you can see it, for yourself as well too. Then also, this is a new item. Well, the probiotic is a new item. The D3 K2 is a new item with the black seed oil, but this is also a new item as well too. I use this product by Bloom. It's a cream. It is supposed to help with seborrheic dermatitis. Now, when you do use this cream, what I see people put online as far as the reviews is that it burns. I think what they not realizing is the ingredients inside of it, which is like peppermint, tea tree, and all this stuff. It's supposed to help soothe your scalp. When I do put when I do put the cream on my scalp, within a couple of minutes, it starts to feel like this tingling kind of sensation, not necessarily a burning sensation. And then within maybe about, I want to say 8 minutes or so, it'll die down. So it goes away. This has helped a lot, especially if I'm going through itching episodes and so forth. And this is what I use pretty much day to day. Okay, when I'm going through those itching spells. All right, the next item that I use is aloe vera gel. I just use a regular Walmart aloe vera gel. It hasn't caused me to have any type of itching or anything like that. It's very loose aloe vera gel. And it does what it needs to do. So, because I was trying to use one of my other gels, which I haven't. I used it when I was dealing with the condition on a very heavy basis. However, now that I've started to change my routine and so forth, I have not used that gel, which I'm kind of a little bit upset with because it's not cheap, but I think I'm going to stay away from it because of the ingredients that are in it. So my plan is probably either to give it away or maybe my husband can use it. Next item that I have used is a scalp brush. It's basically a very soft scalp brush that I use on my hair to lift up any type of like dandruff, buildup, so forth, on my scalp. So let's go ahead and go back to wash day, since we were talking about that before, but I wanted to give you a list of give you a list of the items that I'm currently using right now. So I wash my hair every 2 weeks, okay? This week, I did not want to wash my hair. I did not want to wash my hair this week, and I was like, I wonder if I could wait another 2 weeks. But something just told me to wash my hair. At that point, I did touch my scalp. I did notice that the middle part right here had like a dry spot that was starting to itch. I also have it right here in the front. And I have one kind of like in the back-ish area. And then I have a couple of spots around my head, okay? And I said to myself, do you think you could go another 2 weeks without, scratching and everything. And my answer to myself was no. So therefore, I said, girl, go in there and go wash your hair so that you ain't got to suffer for the next, 2 weeks, because, lives, and I don't always have the opportunity to, see me trying to not scratch my scalp. I don't always have the opportunity to stop and do my hair. It takes time for me to do my hair. So I did it this week, and I wash my hair now on an every 2 weeks basis. Now, also the reason why I wash my hair every 2 weeks, if you follow my channel, you know that I work out. I work out about 4 times a week, sometimes more than that, and my scalp sweats. And anytime I do sweat, I itch. Okay, so I don't want that to be the case. So therefore, I don't want to wait an additional another 2 weeks to have time to wash my hair. So we just stay on the schedule that, we need to stay on. Again, also, I don't want my scalp to become irritable. At the 2 week mark for me, I start to notice that my scalp feels very clogged. So basically, how my scalp feels when it's not cleansed is like, someone explained it on another YouTube video, and I'm going to take her wording. I'm not trying to, bite off of her or anything like this, but it's the perfect way to explain it. It basically feels like you have an extra layer of skin on your scalp. That's how it feels, okay? And when I do not wash my hair as I'm supposed to, that's what it feels like. It feels like my scalp is very clogged up. It feels like there's a lot of build up. It feels like my scalp cannot breathe. On top of it, just itching and so forth. So it's very important that I stay on that 2 week schedule, even though it's not something that I enjoy doing, but it got to get done. So let's talk about my my wash routine. So when I wash my hair, the first thing that I do is I put my head underneath warm water. I find that when I put my hair initially underneath warm water, it soothes my scalp, especially if I have active sores, scabs, stuff like that that's open, okay? And I start off in that way, just some warm water. We get started, make sure, saturate the whole head, and we get started with the process, okay? I take my scalp brush, and then I basically rotate it over my scalp. I try to do my hair just in general in sections of 4s. No matter what I do, whether it's a retwist, whether it's cleaning my hair, I just do my hair in sections of 4s because it allows for me to get, all the parts without trying to do everything at one time. I try not to aggravate my scalp as well too, as I am using the brush. If you would notice, the brush is very soft. The bristles are pretty soft. So I try to make sure that I am not aggressively scrubbing my scalp. All right. I don't want to irritate my scalp, and I do not want whatever scabbing that has formed to help the inflammation, the sores heal, that I don't remove that scab. Because once I remove that scab, it's starting the whole process all over again of it trying to heal. It's irritable, blah, 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 and we don't want to do that, okay? So the next thing I do is I take my shampoo. I wash my hair 2 times with the shampoo. This is with the Shea Moisture shampoo. Again, divide my hair up into 4 sections and cleaning it with my fingertips. I don't necessarily, you can use the brush, the scrub brush to clean your hair. I like to personally use my fingertips. I try not to use my nails. I pretty much keep my nails pretty short in general. But I try to use like the soft part of my fingers to, clean my scalp. All right. So after that, doing that 2 times, then I go in with my probiotic soap. Okay. And basically, just to let you know, this soap helps with skin bacteria. It helps with the fungus that's called malassezia. I'm trying to pronunciate it. Malassezia. We're trying. Now, with this soap, it helps your scalp become more calm, and it reduces the itchiness and irritation to your scalp. Okay, like I said, this soap is recommended and it does help. I know some people said that they feel like a burning sensation. Maybe if they have a lot of open sores, then that's a possibility, you know. But for me, because I don't have many open sores, I don't feel any type of burning when it comes to this. All right, so after I wash the soap out, then I go in with my conditioner. I let that sit in my hair and let that penetrate my scalp. If I have a lot of sores, open sores, specifically on my head, I do feel like a burning from the conditioner. I recently have not really felt the conditioner like that as far as any type of burning sensation. So that's letting me know in my mind that I don't have a lot of open sores. I could tell when I have a lot of open sores, and I know right now that I don't. And I don't feel that with the conditioner. So for me, I'm happy about that. So I rinse that conditioner out. I use cold water to rinse my hair out at that point. For me, when I rinse out the conditioner, even though I don't feel the I guess you could say tingling sensation or anything like that, the cold water actually opens up my pores on my scalp. So instead of using hot water or warm water, I don't use hot water. So I'm using warm water like I did in the beginning. I close it out and I use cool water, and I can definitely feel my scalp breathe, which I enjoy. Okay. After that, I wring out my hair and then I towel dry my hair. I do not put a towel on my hair and wrap my hair. Like, we don't do that. When I have done that in the past, my scalp starts to itch automatically. Okay. So I just wring out my hair, towel dry it, and I, put it up in the clips of fours and, each section. And then I'm done with that particular process. Okay. Now, once I am ready to start, the process of retwisting and so forth, the next step that I do is I go in with my cream, the Seborrheic Dermatitis cream. If I'm not mistaken, this cream is preferred to be put on, get a little bit tongue-tied, preferred to be put on while your hair is wet. You can't put it on when it's dry. I do put it on when my scalp is dry as well too. However, for my wash day routine, I prefer to put it on while my hair is damp. Okay, so I put that on. I put it through my whole all parts of my 4 sections or what have you. And then I let that sit in there for a minute. Like I said, you are going to feel a little burning, but in a couple of minutes after that, you will start to not feel it. So you'll be fine, okay? All right, so after it dissipates, then I go in with my hand dryer. I am trying my best not to sit underneath the dryer because I don't want it's recommended for people who have this condition. You don't want the heat on your scalp. Okay, so what I do is I hand dry my locks. I do want, just a FYI, it's not happening no time soon. I do want to get the Rev Air dryer, especially as my hair starts to get much longer. However, that sucker is almost like $500. So I use my basic handheld dryer and I dry, my apologies. I dry my scalp as much as I possibly can, or dry my locks as much as I possibly can, not necessarily my scalp at that point. After I do that, I then use my aloe vera gel and I start to retwist my hair. Obviously, you could interlock your hair, you can palm roll your hair. I am in the palm rolling, I guess you could say, mood right now. I do have a lot of new growth. However, I don't like to interlock my hair too much because I don't want to thin out my hair, okay? So in between the interlocking process or what have you, I do a palm rolling and keep it moving. All right, so that's pretty much my wash day routine. Now, after I do that and twist my hair and so forth, I let my hair air dry for about 3 hours or so, and then I go in with the handheld dryer. Sorry, I'm trying to see, try not to touch my hair. So I go in with the handheld dryer and I just dry my hair. Okay, I do put it a little bit on my scalp as well too, of drying, but because I've allowed it to air dry for like 3-4 hours, it's pretty much the scalp is dry. Is more so the length of my locks that are not dried. All right. So let's talk about maintenance, okay? Maintenance into the next wash day, which is 2 weeks from now. All right. So what I do is I continue to take my vitamins. I continue to take my D3. I continue to take my K2 with my black seed oil every day. I take that every morning. Prior to me going to the gym and working out in the morning, I put a little bit of the cream on my scalp. If I feel like any type of itching, through the night or in the morning, or I have I could feel the scab, like I know it's there, like you feel it, it's there. I'll put like cream on that particular part of the area, not my whole head, just that particular part of the area, to make sure that when I do sweat, when I do work out, that it's kind of like a preventative measure. So I don't find that I don't find that my scalp itches if I do that. If I don't do it, then my scalp itches. You understand what I'm saying? So obviously, again, sweat is part of it as well too, but I gotta work out. Like we not gonna work out. All right. So again, I do not apply any type of oil. I don't apply any oil. No oil. Personally, for me, I don't necessarily feel like my locks get dry. And at first I was an oil girl and I realized that I just don't need it. Okay. To maintain moisture, I use my rose water spray. You guys have seen me use it before on my face. I now use that on my hair. So I will use that and I'll brush my hair and keep it moving. Now, also what I do is I stay away from any type of tight styles, any type of like updos, ponytail updos, things like that. One, because if my hair sweats, I start itching. Two, I feel like if I have open sores and I'm doing these updos or things like that, it pulls on the parts that's irritable and it makes it even more painful. So I don't do that. I do loose ponytails. Most times I pretty much keep my hair down. Most occasions, you guys probably have seen in my videos, sometimes I put my hair up, like in maybe one ponytail or something like that, just like a half a ponytail. But I primarily try to have my hair loose, use headbands and things like that. And it's been working out for me. So that is pretty much my 2-week process on maintenance until I get into my next wash day. So I want to talk about things to note, okay? And I think that it's very important. I want to talk about them again, whether I talked about it prior to. I just want to reiterate some things just so that you understand that, all right? Things to note is that, again, Seborrheic, Seborrheic, however way you want to pronunciate it, is different for everyone. No one is the same. Again, what works for somebody, you know, who's dealing with it that you've watched, or family member or friend or whatever, how they manage and how, you know, whatever conditions that they're going through or whatever they're going through may not be the same for you. What they may use may not apply to you. You may not be able to use that. So with that, I say you have to do your own research. Do your own research. Try to know what you are putting on your scalp or wherever you are dealing with the inflammation. If I'm not mistaken, seborrheic dermatitis is a family member to psoriasis, is a family member to eczema as well too. So again, you know, want to just make sure you are knowledgeable. Don't just rely on one piece of information is what I guess I'm trying to say. When you do go shopping for products, try to find products that have antifungal properties to them. Okay, you want to make sure that you do that, and you know, see how it works out for you. Only way you're gonna know again is if it works, if you try it out. So that is another one. All right, so another thing to know is keep the items that you use, lay on, tie up with, clean with, brush with, comb with, whatever you use on your scalp, you want to make sure you're keeping those items sanitary, whether again they're brushes, bonnets, hair ties, etc. You want to make sure you keep those things sanitary and you are washing those items because you know, again, you have a condition and things, oils, whatever is going on, you don't want to add more in addition to what's going on your scalp. So you want to make sure that you're cleaning whatever products or items that you may be using that has touched your hair or touched your scalp. Next thing is do not be ashamed. Okay. Initially, like I said before, I wasn't going to do this video because I was slightly ashamed because I'm not a dirty person. Again, I'm not a dirty person and I don't know if I want to put my stuff out there on, you know, Front Street for people to have their thoughts about or their opinions about. However, I know me, I know I take care of me. This is not a condition to be ashamed of. Actually, this is a condition that if you are going through it, I understand that you're maybe a little bit apprehensive, but this will be the opportunity to teach somebody else about the condition. So that's the way that I am looking at it. I'm using my platform here to talk about it so that other people will feel more comfortable hearing about it, talking about it, knowing about it, spreading the information, and so forth. Now, this is something that I have not done yet, but it is suggested that you do visit a It is suggested that you visit a dermatologist for treatment methods that may help. I have not visited my dermatologist. I actually have not had a doctor's appointment since the last one I told you guys about last year. But I mean, when I do make that appointment, I do plan on telling her what is going on. And we'll, you know, cross that bridge when the time comes. But I don't feel that I'm at a point right now where I feel like I'm okay with what I'm doing right now and it's working for me for right now. And if it gets worse and I have more severe episodes and so forth, then, you know, maybe I'll jump right on it. But at this time, I'm not, okay? But if your experience that you're going through is severe, my apologies. If your experience is severe, I suggest for you guys to go visit a dermatologist, okay? All right. So now, just to close out, you know, this video for you guys is that this condition can be very frustrating. However, it can be managed. It cannot be gotten rid of, but it can be managed. What's important for me in this channel and this platform here with you guys is that I talk about the treatments and try to, you know, find tools that work that I could share with you guys, so possibly you can try it out if you are dealing with the condition as well too. As I said before, just yesterday I found another vitamin that helps, zinc. So now I've added a new vitamin to my supplements that I am going to be taking to help improve my immune system, to help, you know, with me dealing with the seborrheic dermatitis. I'm also going to be researching certain foods and things that can have a positive impact and so forth to me, and I'll share that with you guys once I do that research. So you can have that information as well too. The goal, honestly, for this video is to talk about it. Let's talk about this condition. Let's be open about it, and to share it. So I ask that if you guys are watching this, if you know somebody who's dealing with this condition, who just wants to know that they're not alone, who, you know, has started to do her own research, share this video with that individual, because you know, what you may share may help that person. I know, again, a lot of videos I've not shared, a lot of videos that I have watched has helped me with what I'm dealing with. So I ask that you guys share the information. I ask that you guys also, you know, just be open, just be open. You know what I'm saying? And be nice. I guess you could say. I'll say Bo. So that is the end of this video. Again, I hope that it was helpful. I am me, Bia Grant, and I guess you could say I have seborrheic dermatitis, and we are dealing with it, and we are managing it, and we are also managing our stress levels as well too. And yeah, just to throw that in there as well. So guys, again, I hope you have enjoyed this video for the 1001st time. Stay blessed out there in those streets. Make sure you treat others kindly out there in those streets, and God willing, I will see you guys in, I was messing with my laptop. Sorry guys. What was I saying?
I found this on the web for
Okay. See, girl. You a hot mess. All right, guys, stay blessed out there in those streets. Make sure you treat others kindly, and God willing, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.